Right, we're gonna try this again because I keep getting interrupted. I'm trying to make this video. So, we'll start again. Basically, this new social media ban that's been implemented in the UK um, is a good thing. Initially, I wasn't too sure about it because I was just like, well, I'm not sure if this kind of thing is going to work or what kind of backlash or response it was gonna was gonna come. But more that I've spoken to a few people about it, I think the more it makes sense. Social media nowadays is so uh, inundated with hateful comments, and it's an unhinged, never-ending concoction of abuse and hate on there. And depending on what you respond to or whatever you post, you can get the most vitriolic responses from all manner of creatures and individuals from all walks and corners of the earth, mainly the UK and the US and parts of Europe. But and I'm a bit surprised actually that Keir Starmer came out with this kind of thing because I wasn't really sure he had the backbone for this to instill or implement such a law. Um, but kudos to him and his cabinet because I never saw it coming. He's never really come across as the sort of person I thought would you know implement something like this. So 100%, 100% agree with him. Whether it's manageable or because I think there's going to be ways around it, right? Like you can access YouTube and you don't necessarily have to have accounts. YouTube is part of social media. And whilst maybe some kids may not be able to, I mean, I don't know too much about how they implement this. As far as I understand, they've this thing has been already in place in Australia and has been working well for the last 3 or 4 years. So I'm sure they've obviously looked at that from an evidence point of view. But there are some complexities around VPN and stuff. I'm not a specialist on that, so don't ask me. But listen, I think it's a good thing, and I think it puts parenting in the spotlight back again because for a long time now, some of us parents have been so inclined to just allow kids to just be on their devices and let them do whatever. But now that there is this ban, and some people will say, well, the government didn't really need to get involved, but they have. Okay, and this is the case. So I think a lot more parents now may be a lot more engaged, possibly because their kids can't be always on devices and stuff. I don't know if that actually stopped them from being on devices because you still got your games, you still got things like FaceTime that kids can do and stuff like that. But listen, on the whole, I think as far as protecting kids, this is a very important and very well received new law, I would gather. And I think it's going to put parenting back in the stratosphere. I think as parents, we're also guilty of not spending probably not enough time with our kids because we've allowed, you know, social media or, devices to take over that, parenting responsibility. So whilst, and I'm sure even for single moms, it's kind of been a thing where whether they've needed to work when they've been at the house and need to do multiple things because they've got 2 or 3 kids, giving them devices kind of been a worthy distraction so that they can focus on the other things. But I think one of the things that we have lost or we were starting to lose as society is that ability to engage with our kids. I mean, nobody has. I don't want to go off on a tangent here. I probably will. But, if you look at sort of what people call the death of the family time, like back in the days, people used to sit at a table and have dinner. So you'd have breakfast, you'd have dinner together as family because you didn't have devices. TVs would be turned off and stuff like that. I'm not saying that this is going to solve that or bring that back, but hey, it's a move in the right direction. And I think most importantly, is we need to protect our kids. We need to protect each other at the end of the day, but kids even more, because what we see with social media nowadays is just a complete ascension of, you know, uh, you know, destruction. I believe in kids' minds, um, and them not being able to experience the things that some of us experienced, being able to go out, play in the back garden, play in the front garden, play in the parks. And some people will say, well, there's a lot more, child abusers hanging around and all that kind of stuff. And, people are scared of like white vans hanging around outside when your kids are playing in the on the corners and stuff. But hey, but then maybe that's why also community needs to come back and you know and be on the forefront. But yeah, but no, interested to hear what you guys think about this. I generally think it's a good thing. And I think it will allow us to focus on other things again, like the family nucleus and spending time together. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think. Drop your comments below, and yeah, let's have a conversation. Peace.